These are spies!
We're just travelers.
You were seen at the enemy camp 3 days ago, and you were talking with one of the troops there.
I'm just a man who wanders the desert and learns about the stars.
What is a foreigner doing here? What is an alchemist?
It's a man who understands the nature of the world. If he wanted to, he could destroy this camp with the force of the wind.
I want to see him do it.
He needs 3 days. He's going to transform himself into the wind just to demonstrate his powers. If he can't do so, we humbly offer you our lives for the honor of your tribe.
When they first contacted me to play Santiago, I wasn't really surprised per se. Honored, I suppose. I've been a big fan of Paula Coolidge. No, that's not. I've been a big fan of Paul Coachella. Oh, never mind. Who is this guy? I've been a big fan of the author for as long as I can remember. He was a hippie who, he wrote some stuff. He was into drugs for a bit. That's a little weird. He wrote some songs, and the turning point in Coolidge's writing career came in 1982 when he walked Spain's road of Santiago de Compostela, blah, 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 blah. During the walk, Coachella had a spiritual awakening. So I'm just really excited to be able to adapt such a wonderful and meaningful story to me. Turn myself into the wind.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Baby, don't hurt me no more.
Love is the falcon's flight over your sands, because for him, you are a green field from which he always returns with game. He knows your rocks, your dunes, and your mountains, and you are so generous to him.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Oh, what is love? Ha, baby.
So what is this whole language thing again?
I've told you. The language of the world is how Santiago is able to connect with the soul of the world, and the language is love, and he has spent this whole time learning to speak it so that he can turn into the wind. It really is not that complicated.
Yeah, no, of course, but why is he talking to the desert?
Because he needs to turn into the wind to return to his one true love.
Yeah, got that, but how is it responding?
Oh, we have an actor right over there with a mic. It's coming over the loudspeaker.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I was so excited when my agent told me that I had an audition for Fatima, since this book has meant so much to me for so long. And then I lost that role. And now I voice the desert. Yeah.
You can't be the wind. We're two very different things.
That's not true. I learned the Alchemist secrets in my travels. I have inside me all the wind, the desert, the oceans, and the stars, and everything created in the universe. We were all made by the same hands, and we all have the same soul. I want to be like you, able to reach every corner of the world, cross the seas, blow away the sands that cover my treasure, and carry the voice of the woman I love.
People can't turn themselves into the wind, idiot.
Well, this is my favorite scene. Coelho's writing is so eloquent and beautiful.
Yeah, no, totally agree. It's a bit out there, don't you think?
Yes, of course, in the best way possible. Out there, unique, astounding.
I guess the audience just might not quite understand the whole talking to the wind business. It's a little unusual.
Unusual, unconventional, yet moving. A metaphor for his connection to the world and his love.
It's not quite a metaphor though. It's literally happening. He is literally speaking to the wind, and it's like literally responding. Nothing's metaphorical about it. And the conversation is so blunt. Fill this place with a sandstorm so strong it blots out the sun, then I can look to heaven without blinding myself. You have to admit, that's a bit ridiculous.
Well, the original novel was written in Portuguese, and translations are never as great as the original.
Then why did we take the words straight from the novel instead of adapting to better fit English? And besides, what kind of frivolous plot point is boy gets kidnapped, has to turn into wind to prove he's not a spy?
Yes, well, maybe you should have brought these issues up in the writing room and not the day before we record the movie.
Yeah, I suppose the bit about love is rather potent.
I don't know, it's a little bit cheesy, don't you think?
I know that if I came even a little closer to the earth, everything there would die, and the soul of the world would no longer exist. So we contemplate each other, and we want each other, and I give it life and warmth, and it gives me my reason for living.
So, you know about love?
Yes!
That he's talking to heaven?
No.
Sorry, the hand that wrote all?
No.
Dear God, what is it now?
The sun! Come on! The hand that wrote all is after the sun, then they all work together to turn him into the wind.
And how does that have anything to do with the story?
Oh my god. Santiago spends the whole novel pursuing his personal legend. Yes, right?
Oh.
Leaves his sheep, travels the desert, finds his true love, leaves his true love, goes through all of this strife, all to discover his personal legend. This is his personal legend, becoming an alchemist, understanding the language of the world and being able to speak it and connect it to everything around him. And this is the climax where he finally puts all of that to use and he communicates with the world to show how he is now powerful because of all of that dedication and effort he put into his personal legend. It is a beautiful story about following your own path, the importance of love, and how not to feel failure. What do you not understand about this?
The moral, really is truly beautiful. I mean, I never could have gotten where I am today if I had been afraid of failure. Love really is the most important thing in the world, and on some level, I do see how love can connect us to others. I just think the story is a bit convoluted, so to say. Most fables are told with animals, not with sheep and tea and deserts and way too many capitalized words. I always thought this part was just a tad bit anticlimactic.
It is kind of like the big climax, you know, the culmination of the story, and he just kind of disappears.
Yeah. The editing and special effects really have their work cut out for them. Glad it's not me.
Yeah.
From here on, you will be alone. You are only 3 hours from the pyramids.
Thank you. You taught me the language of the world.
I only invoked that which you already knew.
So we read this book in class.
We absolutely loved this book.
Speak for yourself.
And we found that the metaphors to be really relevant to the real world.
We had a lot of class discussions about the different themes throughout the book and how we see them in our own personal lives. I've got to say, our teacher certainly was brave for giving us an assignment where we had to talk about the meaning of life and goodness. That was a lot.
Yeah, that was really weird. She wasn't even there that day. We were just in the auditorium discussing the purpose of life and insignificance of humanity.
This story really gives a really unique perspective on growth and change and how one person can affect the world around them.
Yeah, and my favorite line is when something evolves, everything around that evolves as well. I just really think it encapsulates the constant feeling of transience and rustedness. And I think the author portrays that very well at some points in his writing style.
I still didn't like the book, though. I didn't like it.
And scene.
I can't whoosh for that long.
No. You know, the culmination of the story.
Yeah. Okey dokey, artichokey. Okay.